Stop it! It is all over! Miesha Tate is the new UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion!
Welcome everyone to another episode of Reese's Roundup. I am your host, the Lightning Kid himself, and today we are going to be talking about UFC 196. Guys, this was the most hyped UFC that I've ever seen. I've been following UFC ever since Ronda Rousey left Strikeforce. So about like 170 something. It's been a couple years since 2013. Ronda Rousey left Strikeforce and then came to UFC, and that's when I started following it. I saw her when she was in Strikeforce, but I never like kept up with her until like she started getting hyped up about coming into the UFC, and then that's when I started following UFC altogether. And you know, I hear about Ronda lost to Holly Holm, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I'm like, this is like, I was shocked when I saw that fight. And so I'm sitting here thinking Holly Holm is going to massacre Miesha Tate, because Miesha was always getting her ass kicked to Ronda Rousey in Strikeforce in UFC. She's got like 2 losses against Ronda Rousey already. So I'm just sitting here like, alright, there's no way this beautiful ass chick in Miesha Tate is going to lose to a boxer in Holly Holm. And Miesha did everything that Ronda was supposed to do. She grappled, she had her number. She didn't outbox her, but she kept her distance, and she made sure that Holly wasn't going to tag her. And that's what Ronda should have done in her fight, but you know, Ronda's stubborn. So, you know, it was such a great fight because it was like, in my eyes, people say it was back and forth, but in my eyes, I don't think it was back and forth. I think Miesha had the fight all to her. So I think she lost like the first round. I gave it to Holly Holm, but in the later rounds, Miesha started, you know, like progressing and getting smarter, and she was fighting more tactical. And oh my god, like she took her to the ground. She had her against the cage. She was pinning her. She was pinning her against the cage. She put her in a couple of submissions, but those didn't work out too well. And then she finally got the rear naked choke, which was amazing move, because she could have given up on it. She should have given up on it. Holly was tucking her chin, and it wasn't going through, but she kept in there. I think that's how the 4th round ended, was that she had her in the rear naked choke and she couldn't finish, and then the bell rang, and so she got it again in the 5th round and I don't know if she made Holly tap or if Holly passed out and the ref had to take Miesha off of her. But either way, Miesha's the champ now, and I gotta give props to her. I didn't think she was gonna win. I did not think Miesha was going to take that victory, but she proved me wrong. And I don't see her beating Ronda Rousey. Ronda has her number twice now, and there's no third time's a charm. Ronda's coming back for that championship. Now on to Connor McGregor and Nate Diaz. That fight was fantastic. I'm not a fan of Connor McGregor just because, you know, like, he's got a couple of losses to his name, and he thinks that he's the best fighter in the world, and the guy cannot submit. It's been about 3 years. 3 years ago, I started training for jiu-jitsu under one of the Gracie brothers, or Gracie family members, and I think I was there for about 6 months. I was only a blue and purple belt, and I just learned everything from submission to grapples and to takedowns, and I'm just a fan of all that. I'm a fan of submissions and grapples, takedowns, all that stuff. I'm not a fan of striking and all that extra stuff. I don't really like that. So Nate Diaz is like, I don't like Nate Diaz, but he's a submission, I don't want to say expert, but he knows how to submit. And I like looking at those kinds of fights. I don't like stand-up punches, or else I'd go watch boxing again. So, with that being said, I knew if Diaz took down McGregor, it would be a wrap. McGregor has no ground game, as far as I know. I've never seen a McGregor fight until that Diaz fight. McGregor was hyping himself up so much, and he started getting attention. So that's how I knew about him. So I was like, you know what, let me check out, see how he does. Now, in all fairness, he did jump weight. He jumped weight to, I think, from 145 to 155, something like that. He jumped weight, but it was on him. Like he wanted to jump weight. He wasn't forced to. So that's his fault. He trained all that time to well, no, not all that time. It was on a short notice. He only had 11 days. But even still, you know, he's a guy that doesn't like to back down from anything. He'll tell you that himself. He's not a pushover. So the only person that he can blame is himself. You know, he wanted to jump weight. He wanted to do nothing but strike against Diaz. He couldn't. He didn't have an answer for Nate. And when Nate took him out with the rear naked choke as well, that was just that was an amazing accomplishment, you know. And I did like. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Connor McGregor, but what he said at the end, you know, how he's humble in victory, humble in defeat, and that he blamed himself for the loss, and he still shook hands with Diaz and all this and all that. That really shows good sportsmanship. And I tip my cap to what he did. He could have been sour about it. He could ran out the ring, but he didn't want to talk. He did not want to talk about it, if that makes sense. So I got to give props to McGregor for being a good sport about that loss, and hopefully next time, you know, he'll come back. He'll drop back to his regular weight, and he'll fight somebody less of a challenge. I don't know how to word that, but he'll fight somebody again and get his confidence back. And same thing with Holly, not Holly, but Ronda Rousey. You know, she'll go back and fight Miesha, get that championship back. I'm not a fan of I don't have a specific male MMA fighter as I do with female. You know, Ronda Rousey is my favorite female MMA fighter, while I like Anderson Silva, John Bones Jones, Chris Weidman from the male side. I'll just watch anybody from the male division, but I just look forward to Ronda Rousey in the female division. But other than that, you know, it was upset city. You know, I did not think the underdogs were going to win. I did want Nate Diaz to win, but I didn't think he was going to beat McGregor. But, you know, like I said, I'm a fan of submission. That's what I learned when I was training for 6 months in jiu-jitsu. So I like looking at that stuff. And you know, that was a great accomplishment. Hopefully UFC 197 or, you know, UFC 200, they come back and they fight again, maybe a rematch, and we'll see what happens from there. But other than that, you know, that's going to wrap up today's Reese's Roundup, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like. Let me know if you guys thought McGregor or Holm were going to win. Did you guys put any money on that fight? Because I heard a lot of people lost a lot of money. So let me know what you guys want to see next week. I'll see you next time. Peace.